Day Cowboys report. Thank you for joining me in this episode. We look inside of the Dallas Cowboys organization. Today we focus on two big topics. First one is the latest news on Trevon Diggs and the question everyone is asking, will he return this week? Second is Brian Schottenheimer confirming that Kenneth Murray will continue to start at linebacker even with pressure from Logan Wilson. Let us break everything down step by step. Trevon Diggs situation. Diggs was officially designated to return on November 30. That means the Cowboys opened his 21-day return window. During this window, he can practice, but the team must decide when to replace him back on the active roster. Right now, he is still in the middle of that 21-day period. That was hope that he might come back last week, but according to ESPN reporter Jeremy Fowler, Trevon Diggs is still working to get his body back into full game condition. He has been away for a long time, and returning to the National Football League speed is not simple. So the question remains, is this week final return for the Trevon Diggs? ESPN recently suggested that the Cowboys might consider cutting Trevon Diggs in the future. This idea immediately created noise among of the fans. It is important to understand something. This is not report from the Cowboys, it is an speculation. The team has not shared any public plan to move on from him. For now, the focus inside of the organization is simply to get him healthy and ready to contribute again. Could he return this week? This is a question. There is real possibility. The Cowboys have seen improvement in his movement during practice sessions. Coaches want to see how he responds to the increased activity, whether he can handle full speed drills. If everything goes well, this could be a week he came back. If they feel he needs more time, they can still wait because of the return window is not finished. Brian Schottenheimer on Kenneth Murray. Let's talk about also Kenneth Murray. Now let us move to the linebacker situation currently. Head coach Brian Schottenheimer was asked about the competition between Kenneth Murray and Logan Wilson. Many fans believed Wilson could take Murray's spot, but the coach made his position very clear. He said, "It is good comparison. Both players are very important players, but attribute will really take, like the run and hit ability of Kenneth Murray and the physicality he plays with really stand out of the film. Logan Wilson has also done an incredible job learning the system and breaking down plays quickly. Right now, we are getting positive play from both players, and that is why you see the numbers the way they are." The statement confirms that Kenneth Murray will continue as the starter. According to the Schottenheimer, Kenneth Murray brings strong run and hit ability, physical play, energy and aggression, reliable speed when chasing down ball carries. These are qualities the Cowboys value, especially in the defensive scheme. Logan Wilson is not being ignored. The coach praised him for his ability and learn quickly. His skills in leading offensive formation, his intelligence in understanding the system, but for now, the staff believes Murray should remain the number one option. Cowboys' defensive structure depends heavily on speed at linebacker. keeping Kenneth Murray as the starter, maintaining continuity, using Logan Wilson in rotation gives the team flexibility. Both players help team in different ways, and coaches believe the team is stronger when both are involved. So here is where things stand. Trevor Diggs' good progress still in the 21-day window. Possible return this week not granted. Cut rumors, only speculation not from the team. Kenneth Murray confirmed to continue as a starter at linebacker. Logan Wilson continued to rotate and contribute while learning the system. Thank you for spending your time with us today on power and flexibility. Danny Blogler, one of the most respected draft experts from The Athletic, released his first mock draft. His choices for the Cowboys immediately caught attention. Before we get into the specific players, we'll need to explore why he made this prediction. Let's talk about on the Trevor Diggs questions. Trevor Diggs is one of the most talented cornerback Dallas has had in the past decade, but his future is unclear because of the injuries and contract concerns. Diggs suffered a serious knee injury, and even though he is working hard to come back, the Cowboys cannot fully trust what he will look like long term. This is why Danny Blugler believes the Cowboys might draft a cornerback early. It is not respected to Diggs. It is not disrespected for the Diggs. It is preparation. The smart franchise prepares for every possible outcome. Why cornerback becomes priority for the Cowboys? Let us see what Dallas is facing. Diggs' recovery timeline, lack of depth behind him, struggle in coverage during important games, the defensive system that needs strong man coverage, a higher pressure NFC with a right wide receiver. All these makes cornerback not just a need, but a strategic target. The Jelmod McCoy is the Tennessee cornerback. He is young, fast, confident, and very smooth in coverage. He did not play in the 2025 because of the ACL injury, but then Blugler still calls him a top-quality cornerback with long-term upside. Why? Because his 2024 tape was exceptional. He showed excellent footwork, great ability to mirror receivers, calm reaction, sharp awareness, impressive recovery speed. Even with an injury, teams remember what he showed in the 2024. Some fans worry because of scouts do not have a fresh 2025 video footages, but Blugler notes that McCoy will be more than 1 year removed from the injury by NFC Combine. That is enough recovery time. Teams will test him physically. They will measure his strength, speed, and agility. If the medical evaluation comes back clean, McCoy becomes a strong first-round option. And remember, Dallas has always been willing to draft talented players coming off the injuries. Cowboys' history with the injured players, it is another big issue, my friend. Over the years, Dallas has drafted several players who were returning from the injury. They like taking chances on low talent. It is part of the identity. Sometimes it works, sometimes it does not. But they always trust their medical staff and the scouting department. For example, Jalen Smith, DeMarcus Lawrence, and Sans Ree, this history makes McCoy a natural match. Why McCoy first fit the Dallas scheme? Of course, you can ask yourself why McCoy first all fit on the McCoy on Dallas feet. Cowboys defense relies on aggressive cornerback play, place coverage, speed, on the outside, quick reaction, foot tackling on the edge. McCoy checks all these boxes. He is strong in man coverage but also comfortable in his own scheme. He is exactly what type of the cornerback coaches love to develop. The second major prediction from Dan Blugler is George Renneback, C.G. Aaron. C.G. Aaron is fast, physically intelligent, strong land defender, good in short area coverage, a leader on the defense. He is the kind of the linebacker who fits perfectly in modern NFL defenses. Dallas has needed a reliable, durable linebacker from the several seasons. Injuries have hurt them in this position many times. C.G. Aaron provides stability and youth. The Cowboys linebacker group has dealt with injuries, inconsistent play, lack of depth, poor tackling in key moments. Drafting C.G. Aaron solves these problems instantly. He brings energy and discipline. This is why Blugler mock draft feels realistic. Cowboys reports host Tom Downren reacted to the mock draft with balanced opinion. He mentioned the concerns about McCoy injury history, the risk versus rewards, the need for immediate contributors, the excitement of having 2 first-round picks, the importance of rebuilding this defense, the possibility of Diggs returning at full strength. Downray believes these picks match the Cowboys' long-term plan. Let's break McCoy game into detailed areas. Coverage ability, he stays close to the receiver and rarely panic. Footwork, very clean especially in tight coverage situations. Football intelligence, he leads offensive quickly. Recovery speed, even when beaten, he closes the gap well. Competitiveness, he does not back down. He plays with confidence. These traits are exactly what Dallas wants. Tackling, strong, controlled, and reliable. Land defense, C.G. Allen scores for the Cowboys. Tackling, he's strong, controlled, and reliable. On the defense line, finds the ball quickly and attack. On pass coverage, he is good at covering running backs and tight ends. On the leadership, C.G. Land communicates clearly with his teammates. Athletic ability, he moves smoothly across the field. Dallas loves linebacker with this profile. How did these 2 first-round picks shape for the future of the Golden State Warriors? The 2 first-round picks allow Dallas to address multiple weaknesses, breed young core players, create long-term stability, keep the defense strong for the years, add cheap, talented rookies while managing the salary cap. This is layer. Dallas must take advantage of it. Dallas want to get fast, get strong, improve tackling, strength to coverage, prepare for the injuries, build long-term defensive identity. This draft fits all of these goals. If Diggs come back healthy, the Cowboys have 2 strong corners. The defense can become more dangerous. McCoy can learn slowly. The secondary becomes a team strength. Drafting McCoy does not replace Diggs. It protects the team. If Diggs struggles, Dallas still has a young starter. No pressure to force Diggs to play. Defense remains stable. McCoy grows into the role. This is why Blugler's prediction is very smart, very smart. Over the next 5 years, adding McCoy and C.G. Allen can strengthen defensive units, create leadership, bring speed and youth, improve playoff performance, breed identity around defense. This is the future of Dallas wants. This mock draft is not just names, it is a plan, philosophy, strategy for long-term success. The Cowboys must prepare for the injuries, player contract, changing defensive system, touch NFC competition. Drafting McCoy and C.G. Allen is a step toward stability. Thank you. And his rising contract value and the decision the Cowboys organization is facing behind the scene. Yes, welcome and thank you for joining this deep and calm down breakdown focused on one of the biggest stories surrounding the Dallas Cowboys. Today we take a clear and thankful walk through George Pickens' breakout season, his rising contract value and decisions the Cowboys organization is facing behind the scene. Get relaxed and get focused. Let us explore this story step by step. Dallas Cowboys entered the season with higher expectations, but the reality has been difficult. A record of the 6 wins, 6 losses, and 1 tie. In the middle of these challenges, George Pickens began to shine. After 13 games, Pickens reached a career high in reception, receiving yards, and touchdowns. He has become one of the most impactful wide receivers in the league. This is a contract year for the Pickens. Every play he makes increases his value. Every strong performance reshapes his future. Today, NFL gives top receivers a massive contract. $30 million per year has become normal for elite talent. Pickens now fits into that category. Analysts suggest a 4-year deal worth well over $120 million. This means an average of more than $30 million every year. Early in this season, his value was estimated at a 5-year deal worth of $153 million. A new projection is shorter but pays more per year. If Pickens become available, many teams would compete for him. He is young, explosive, and productive, but most reports say he will remain in the Dallas Cowboys. Multiple insiders report that Pickens is not leaving. The Cowboys seem determined to keep him in the organization. Dallas might use the franchise tag. This option keeps Pickens for 1 year at a higher salary while delaying a long-term decision. The tag protects the team from bidding war. It gives Dallas control and flexibility. Pickens changes now defense play. He forces adjustment. He created opportunity for other players. His talent is elite, but at times off-field behavior creates noise. The organization must decide how much risk they can manage. Some distractions have appeared during the season. Coaches have spoken publicly about staying focused. They want Pickens locked in and consistent. Despite all the noise, his production is undeniable. He brings immediate impact. Any team will take that chance. The front office must decide: pay him now, wait, use the tag, trade. Every decision has major consequences. A huge contract affects the entire roster. Dallas must balance talent, cost, and future flexibility. Some fans' full support give him a long-term contract. Others are more cautious, but everyone recognizes his importance. Reports say teammates respect his talent and energy. Chemistry appears strong. Pickens pushes the offense to another level. He wants recognition, of course, as personal ambitions. He wants to be featured. He wants to continue growing in an offense that highlights him, that gives him that opportunity in Dallas, and Dallas gives him that opportunity, of course. The Cowboys may be struggling this season, but Pickens has been the bright and powerful presence. His future contract will define the direction of the team in coming years. Talk about the playoff picture. And finally, we will discuss what this means for the rest of the season. Before the game even began, it was clear that this matchup mattered. Both the Cowboys and the Lions were fighting for the playoffs position. Both teams needed a win to stay alive in the NFLs. Cowboys entered the game hoping to extend their winning streak and push themselves closer to the wild card spot. The Lions entered the game knowing that a win would boost their chances dramatically. The pressure was huge on both sides. The game started at a very fast pace. Detroit came out strong and looked confident. Dallas, on the other hand, looked a bit slow. The Cowboys struggled with field position during the first half. Detroit often started with short fields. Dallas often started deep in their own side of the field. That made a major defensive Welcome back to the show, everyone. Today we are diving into one of the biggest storylines around the Dallas Cowboys. The Cowboys just come off very painful Week 14 loss to the Detroit Lions, and that defeat has created serious challenges for their playoffs hope. In this episode, we break down everything clearly. We talk about the game, we talk about the mistakes, we talk about the injuries, we talk about the playoff picture, and finally, we discuss what this means for the rest of the season. But before the game even began, it was clear that this matchup mattered. Both Cowboys and the Lions were fighting for the playoffs position. Both teams needed a win to stay alive in the NFC race. The Cowboys entered the game hoping to extend their winning streak and push themselves closer to the wild card spot. The Lions entered the game knowing that a win would boost their chances dramatically. The pressure was huge on both sides. The game started at a very fast pace. Detroit came out strong and looked confident. Dallas, on the other hand, looked a bit slow. The Cowboys struggled with the field position during the first half. Detroit often started with short fields. Dallas often started deep in their own side of the field. That made more difference early. Dallas hurt themselves in several ways. They committed penalties at wrong time. They had 2 turnovers that gave Detroit easy scoring opportunity. Their tackling was inconsistent. When you combine all of these issues, it becomes very difficult to keep up with the strong offense like Detroit's. Detroit continued to breed momentum. Their offense found rhythm. Their running game opened the field. Their quarterback made smart decisions and avoided mistakes. Meanwhile, the Cowboys struggled to convert drives into touchdowns. They kept settling for the field goals instead of finishing drives in the end zone. That difference alone changed the entire shape of the game. One of the few bright spots was Dallas kicker Brandon Aubrey. He hit multiple field goals every 55 yards. He kept Dallas within striking distance, but even with great kicking, the Cowboys needed touchdowns. Fast goals were not enough against Detroit, team that kept scoring 7 instead of the series. One of the toughest moments in the game came when CeeDee Lamb went down in the third quarter. He had already played extremely well. He had over 100 receiving yards. He was the main spark of the Cowboys offense, but while trying to catch the pass in the end zone, he landed awkwardly and hit his head on the turf. After the trainers checked him, he was ruled out with the concussions. This changed the entire momentum and the confidence of the Dallas offense. When your best receiver leaves the game, everything becomes harder. The spacing challenges, the play design changes, and the defense become more aggressive. Dak Prescott lost his most trusted target. Detroit used that advantage to tighten coverage on the remaining receivers. The Cowboys offense struggled to move the ball consistently after that. Dallas had played strong defense in the previous weeks, but in the game, things fell apart. The secondary had issues with zone coverage. Young players were caught out of the position. Detroit receivers found open areas frequently. The Cowboys' defensive coordinator is now facing more pressure. Fans are questioning whether the system fits the players properly. As the game reached to the final quarter, Detroit offense became unstoppable. Their running back, Jamie Gibbs, blocked multiple plays. Their offensive line dominated the trenches. Dallas tried one of the comeback, but could not keep up. Detroit kept extending the lead, eventually finishing with 44 points. The final score was 44-30. Detroit won comfortably. Dallas now sits on the 6 win, 6 losses, and 1 team. These losses made their playoff chance fall sharply. According to the advanced statistics, Dallas now sits around 9% to make the postseason. Before the game, both teams were outside of the playoffs but very closer. Detroit has now improved their chances to over 50%. Dallas has dropped for the behind. For the Cowboys to make playoffs now, they need a winning streak to the end of the season. Multiple teams in NFC to lose. Possible collapse from the division rivals like Eagles. It's possible, but very difficult. Every team lose games, but that hurts most of the Cowboys fans is how many mistakes were self-inflicted. Turnovers, penalties, missed tackles, poor coverage, settling the field goals, special teams issues, all of these things added up. Losses like this do more than affect the standings. They affect confidence, they affect locker room image, they affect your motivation when you're preparing for the next opponents. The Cowboys now need to reset mentally during their extra rest periods. Dallas has a week and a half before their next game. They have time to reflect, adjust, and reset. They need to review their defensive scheme. They need to make offensive adjustments, especially if Lamb misses time. They need to improve discipline and reduce penalties. Before this Detroit game, Dallas had won 3 straight games. That shows they can play at higher level. They proved they could compete with strong teams, but consistency has been the biggest challenges this season. The answer is yes. Cowboys can still make the playoffs. Extremely challenging. They need a win almost all of their remaining games. They need help from other teams losing. They need to get healthy, especially at wide receivers. The door is not full closed, but it is almost shut. This game revealed several issues. The defense struggles against dynamic offenses.